that it's in and of itself a camera? Or is that just, oh, okay.
I have a reason to use it, but sometimes if it's entertaining, I want to
Okay.
capture it.
Good evening, everybody. It's just about 7:02 PM on Wednesday, March 26th. This is the regular meeting. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Brescher. Councilmember Coyle.
Here.
Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Patel. Councilmember Patil.
Here.
Councilmember Pointer.
Present.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Here.
Okay. Madam Clerk, could you read adequate notice?
Adequate notice of this meeting as required by the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975 has been provided by the annual notice sent to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, Desi Talk, and News India Times on November 18th, 2024, and posted main lobby municipal complex on that same date.
Thank you very much. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. As for council president remarks, just a few events coming up. Let me go in order of the dates, because there's one tomorrow that's worth mentioning. It's women's and men's health screenings. That's tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Middlesex County Clinic, 29 Oakwood Avenue, Edison. These are for men and women who have no health insurance. For the women's screening, they offer a free pap smear and a prescription for a mammogram. For the men's screening, a prostate exam and a PSA blood test. So these are very important screenings, and they are offered free of charge for people with no health insurance. If you want to schedule an appointment or get more information, you can call the Edison Health Center at 732-248-7285. Next, there's two events on April 5th. We have the the North Edison Baseball League is opening up. The opening ceremony start next Saturday, April 5th at 10 a.m. And we also have, at the same time, the Easter Extravaganza and Breakfast with the Bunny. It's $5 per child, also Saturday, April 5th, 2025, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at TJ Middle School on 450 Division Street in Edison. I will mention one more time the Team Edison Police Unity Tour, the cocktail sip, April 7th, 2025 at the Brownstone from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. They sell T-shirts, there are door prizes, and a mega raffle drawing at 7:30 p.m. $50 ticket donation includes dinner and 2 drinks. Those are my council president remarks. We move on to the calendar year 2025 municipal and solid waste budget. Can we get a motion to introduce R135, introduction of calendar year 2025 municipal budget?
Motion to introduce.
Actually, that has to come with the reading through, yeah.
It's not an ordinance reading, but it's a resolution.
It's a
Oh,
resolution.
yeah. So, yes to read it? Yes, that he needs to read
Just
this?
he moved to
The resolution.
Okay, okay,
but there's no file here.
okay. All right, very good. Then I get a second.
Seconded.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Yes. Is that an all in favor, or is that a
No,
roll call?
that's a roll call.
Okay, all right.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes. We move to motion to introduce I have to council comments, right? Are there any council comments on R135?
One we just voted on?
Yeah. Or is that,
Should have been before.
I should have done that before?
No, I think
Yeah,
we
until
missed
the
that.
public
Now we are.
All right, sorry about that. Now we're on motion to introduce and a second for R136, introduction of calendar year 2025 solid waste budget.
Motion to introduce. Second.
Thank you. Any council, that was other stuff.
It's off,
Yeah,
second? Okay.
yeah.
Just wanted to.
Yes. Council comments on the solid waste budget? Okay, seeing none, then we need the roll call.
Councilmember Coyle?
Yes.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Patil?
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer?
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel?
Yes.
Council President Harris?
Yes, okay. On to the new business proposed ordinances, public hearing set down for Wednesday, April 16th, 2025. Madam Clerk, can you read the ordinance?
Ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriations limits and to establish a cap bank.
Okay. And this is, and we're talking about the 2247. Can I get a motion to introduce?
Council President, I
Yes.
move this ordinance be passed the first reading, published according to the law for further consideration and public hearing set down for Wednesday, April 16, 2025.
Second?
Second.
All right, thank you. Is this the roll call?
Yes.
Yeah, well, okay. Any comments on this ordinance? Okay, seeing none, roll call?
Councilmember Coyle?
Yes.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Patil?
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer?
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel?
Yes.
Council President Harris?
Yes. All right. Madam Clerk, can you read 2248?
An ordinance adopting the 2 Skylar Drive redevelopment plan, blocks 160.21, lot 50, pursuant to the local redevelopment housing law, NJSA 48:12A.
Okay, may I get a motion to introduce?
Council President, I move this ordinance be passed on first reading, published according to the law for further consideration and public hearing set down for Wednesday, April 16, 2025.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Thank you. Any council comments? All right, hearing none, can we get to the roll call?
Councilmember Coyle?
Yes.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Patil?
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer?
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel?
Yes.
Council President Harris?
Yes. Okay. Now we move to public comment on the resolutions. This is on the resolutions only. Anyone? Yes, Joyce?
Joyce Ship Freeman, Edison, New Jersey. The resolution authorizing the professional, this is 145. So the resolution authorizing professional services contract for Phase 2, has Phase 1 been put up on the website?
No. Do you have any other resolutions to comment on? We'll get them all up together.
Yeah, because I'm always asking about these change orders. The resolution 154, resolution authorizing change order number 1 to the contract with Capola Services Inc. for Millbrook Ford's pump station improvement. The total amended contract comes up to $4 million now? Just asking, and the next question I would like to ask is about the 4 water main breaks in Edison, 66,554.
What number is that?
That's 155.
Okay.
Where are these water main breaks located at? And last but not least, I don't thoroughly understand. I want a better understanding of 159, the resolution authorizing and approving the person-to-person transfer of planetary retail consumption license from hotel to hotel. Is that alcohol or what is that? I'm not sure what it is, but I would just like to be, informed of what it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Joyce, I just wanted to ask you on 154, I didn't quite understand what your question was about that. You were questioning the $4 million.
It said Ford's pump station improvement, 18,162.57 for a total amended contract of 4,191, whatever, 27. Because I'm just like, I don't understand how we always have these change orders all the time. Because, this is like, it's a lot. Like, it's like nobody can make a decent calculation. at all, you know?
Okay,
That's all, that's the only thing that bothers me is just that the amount of change orders and about people not being able to make a calculation when they're doing the work that it has to be done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Joyce. Okay, Sonia, let's start with 145, the professional services contract for Phase 2. She wanted to know if Phase 1 is somewhere to be seen on a website.
It is, resolutions were provided to the council. There were 2 resolutions. So for, in '24. And those have already been initiated,
Okay.
the work.
So is the public able to see that somewhere on the website?
Absolutely, I would refer to the clerk, the resolution number specifically.
Resolutions were always on the website.
Okay.
Meetings. There was 2 resolutions passed in 2024.
Just want to clarify. 154, she's asking about the cost, the going to the 4,191,000 and change.
So that's less than 0.5% of a, less than 0.5% of an increase in terms of a change order. So the total amount is correct, the 4,191,000, and 18,000 is about 0.44% increase.
Okay. 155, the emergency contract, and she wants to know where the 4 water main breaks are.
Sure. So those are specific to Woodbridge Avenue. Those, right there on that, the ones that happened in December. That's what those are specific to.
All right, very good. And lastly, she's asking about 159, about the license, the liquor license. What looks like it's a liquor license. It doesn't really say liquor license, but plenary retail consumption license. That's a liquor license?
I would defer to the.
Okay.
That's the hotel over by Target.
Okay, all right.
Change your names.
Yes, all right, very good. All right, thank you. Next, comments on, or questions on resolutions?
Council President,
Yes,
can I just offer 2 additional items on that?
absolutely.
I think what Mr. Freeman was asking in terms of the Phase 1, because we're getting GIS mapping done of the system, is if we have that GIS mapping available for people to see in terms of what the actual sewer lines are. If that's not known now, just for the next meeting when we might have those maps available. And in terms of the change order, that actually was due to delays because of the water main break that happened in December, because it was near PSC&G lines where this is in near proximity. So it's kind of a startup cost again because of that delay. So it's annoying because it's a change order, but it was an unforeseen condition change order. And I hope that offers additional clarification. Thank you, Council
Thank
President.
you, Council Vice President. Any other questions or comments on the resolutions? Gloria?
Gloria Dittman, Midland Road, Edison. I have just 2 questions. One is on 143, promotional items, and there's another one, but I forgot to write down the number. I was just wondering, are these local Edison companies that we are awarding these monies to?
Okay.
And my other comment is with, along with 155, do we have a plan in place to inspect the infrastructure so that we don't have this horrible problem happen again?
Okay, all right, let's start with the 143.
Council President, is the
yes.
speaker done with her questions?
Oh, I'm
Just
sorry.
because usually we sit down and then we answer them, so there's no back and forth.
You want me to sit down?
No.
If you're done with your questions.
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Thank
all
you.
right, thanks. Okay. Sonia, about the company, the bid awarding the contract for the trophies and promotional items, are these Edison companies?
Yes, so from a procurement standpoint, we have to go out to bid. It does happen that one of the marketing companies, GMA, is right off of Talmadge in Edison. The second one is at Cafe, also in Edison. And the third, Concept Print, which is out of Nyack, New York. These were done through the procurement process.
Okay. And the question about what's in place to inspect the water mains. And I don't know if it's these, if it's what was it, water mains in general, but what process is in place to inspect the water mains?
I don't see that this is specific to a resolution. Is there a resolution this
It's
specific
a
to, other
warning.
than the water main break in Woodbridge, on Woodbridge Avenue that happened in December?
Yeah, yeah.
The business administrator makes a fair point. The question has to be relevant to a resolution.
Gotcha, yeah. Okay, all right, thank you very much. Anyone else with questions or comments about the resolutions only? Yes, sir. You. And just let us know which number or numbers you're talking about.
Thank you very much. Starting off with all the numbers, I'm not going to name them all because I'd spend my whole 4 minutes naming them all, so I'm not going to do that, but I'm against each and every one of them simply because you guys haven't given us our minutes back to 6. 4 minutes to 6, which you guys promised to do. You have yet to do that yet. $10,000 to promote yourselves once again. Give yourselves trophies. Participation trophies, absolutely disgusting. But what can you do? And then 6,000 more for trophies. So you got 2 resolutions for trophies. Absolutely disgusting. R152. I'm against R152. If the police power supply goes down, let it go down. Let it go down. I'm against. They need to get their act together. They need to stop framing the residents. They need to stop maliciously falsifying police reports in order.
I'm sorry, sir, you need to stick to the resolution itself.
I'm explaining why I'm against.
No, if you want to do this in
resolution.
public comment, but when you're starting to make accusations about the public safety, that's not really pertaining to the resolution.
No accusations. So I'm not allowed to have an opinion? My opinions are now
If you'd like to give your opinion during regular public comment, you may do that, but right now you need to stick specifically to the
And
resolutions.
I was saying why I was against R152. Let them have no power. Their power supply goes down, let it go down, because they're framing residents. And this is proven. It's going to continue to be proven, and you can't do anything about it because that's just the way it is. Facts will always be facts. I'm against R153. More vehicles? Are these vehicles? R153, are these police vehicles? Township vehicles? Administration vehicles? It just says Challenger units. What's a Challenger unit? Yes, I'm against all of them. The only one, maybe I'm in support of Don Dart to the Cultural Arts Commission, but everything else I'm against. I'm allowed to be against everything else. But back to R152, specifically the uninterruptible power supply for the Division of Police. Let there be a blackout. Better to have no police. Better to have no police here in Edison Township, the way they've been doing their job.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Sonia, he had asked about the 153. These are police vehicles?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Resolutions only? Okay, seeing,
Motion to close the public portion?
Second.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right, we move on to proposed resolutions. Anything to pull for a separate vote?
Council President,
Yes,
140.
140. Okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Councilman Patil? Nothing? No, okay, all right. That's it, 140? Okay, so we want to approve right now resolutions 137 through 139, and then 141 through 159. Could I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Can I get a second?
Second.
Making a roll call, please?
Councilmember Coyle?
Yes.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Patil?
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer?
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel?
Yes.
Council President Harris?
Yes. Okay. Councilman Coyle, about 140?
I just wanted to congratulate Mr. Tarr for another volunteer opportunity to continue to be involved in the Cultural Arts Commission, and thank him for the time. I'm glad to see the administration continue to appoint him and others, because it's a very needed opportunity for Edison, hopefully one day having a cultural arts center. Thank you, Council President. Motion to approve.
I second those sentiments. All right, we move on to oral petitions.
Sorry, we need to vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's right, I'm
Motion,
sorry.
I believe you
Right.
seconded.
I'll second.
Oh, second?
Okay, all right, sorry about that. Roll call, please. Whoops.
Councilmember Coyle?
Yes.
Councilmember Patel?
Yes.
Councilmember Patil?
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer?
Yes.
Councilmember Shmuel?
Yes.
Council President Harris?
Yes. All right, now we move on to oral petitions and remarks. Who would like to? Is anyone? Yes, sir.
Thomas Licky, Netherwood Circle. I just want to give a shout out and a thank you to the Department of Public Works. Over the winter, with all this windstorms we had, they knocked down, a lot of branches got knocked down.
Who?
A lot of branches got knocked down.
Oh, I
Excuse me,
want-
sir, please silence your phone.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
And Monday, I called the DPW, made an arrangement. This morning, a gentleman came out with a truck, picked it all up, actually wound up raking, sweeping, and blowing the street, so there were no residual small little branches left. It was great. I do appreciate that. Now I'd like to talk about what I talked about, bring up what I talked on Monday about signs being posted on light poles, telephone poles, et cetera. Since we went to 4 minutes, there's no public rebuttal. Today's my rebuttal. I think you need to maybe rethink how the township goes and handles this ordinance, that stuff isn't supposed to be posted on telephone poles, et cetera. But then I started thinking a little bit more. I come from an industry where if you saw something, you say something. Maybe what you should the township needs to do is empower its public workers to go and log what they see as something that's not per ordinance or whatever, whether it's signs posted on telephone poles, dead trees that risk falling on cars, et cetera, if a wind kicks up, everything like that, garbage strewn on a street, houses not kept, yards not kept up. Maybe if you empower the township workers to go into, let's call it, document it, put it on a log where somebody is authorized to follow up on that, make sure everything is corrected, et cetera, then maybe Edison will be beautiful again. And then I started thinking, well, okay, then people are gonna say, well, why should I do this? Maybe they get a little, let's call it, bonus if they decide, if they see something that, and it winds up getting corrected, the fine, you know, they get a portion of the fine put into their check as a bonus. Maybe try to empower your workers to be, you know, look after Edison in a way that, you know, other people would like to see it, nice and clean, no garbage, et cetera. So I'm just wondering if maybe that's something that the township might want to introduce as a possible, you know, suggestion. And then lastly, you know, you talk about affordable housing. It's really a shame that young professionals can't afford houses or can't afford houses in Edison. It seems like any little house that goes on the market or it's quickly bought over by a builder, knocked down, McMansion is put up. Granted, it helps the ratables in the town gets more money, but then again, it's also a remodel as opposed to a new house. I think the town needs to take a step back, think about what they want to do as far as bringing young people into the town so that they can afford to live here. And that then filters down to the Planning and Zoning Board to go and help the
Thank you, sir.
The
Thank
Your
you.
time is
Thank
up.
you. Yeah, your time is. To your question about the signs posted on poles, I'm wondering, Council Vice President, with the adopt an area ordinance that we had approved, is this something that could fall under the adopt an area in terms of removing signs that don't belong?
My instinct is to say, maybe, I don't know if that's an enforcement thing, maybe if it's an adopted area itself, possibly, but in terms of like a random area, I don't know the enforcement or.
That's an enforcement issue, so that would go through zoning, much different than what the adopt area we discussed and the council adopted.
Council President?
Yes.
I believe if you adopt an area, they can maybe be the people that report such infractions, and maybe then the zoning can take action.
I just want to correct for the record, we're talking about two separate things. So the adopt area is specific to beautification of a placement of a triangle or something that's within public space. However, those signs need to be enforced by zoning. So to Mr. Selecki's point, we have a service request system online, and that's where you put any and all complaints. And so I would encourage to use that system, and it goes to Public Works and to several other departments depending on who's responsible for that. And that's how we address those issues. We also have our constituent relations person if you want to get Pat Coyle a call, but certainly the efficient way to do it would be through the service portal system that's on our website.
Very good. Tom, if you wanted to speak to somebody offline after the meeting, it's perfectly fine, but your speaking time is done right now. Thank you. No, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir. Yes.
Council President?
Yes.
About the affordable housing, I think the idea is very thoughtful, and I think that is something everyone wants, to have affordable housing. But there is the NIMBY faction, that not in my backyard, that always comes up anytime you try to build more housing. And that is what you need. It's a supply and demand issue. When you have more supply, the house pricing will come down. But no one wants to build more units, because each time you build units, there is a cost that we have to factor into. That includes students that we bring into anything when it comes to the road. So it is a balance that we have to take into consideration. It's not simple as, you know, let's make more housing and it should bring everything down. I would love to have more college graduates, but again, I think there's also an aspect of building a downtown and creating an environment that entices those population as well to us. I think Jersey City will be or Hoboken will be a better candidates if someone were to start out and they had an opportunity to get an affordable housing. I think they would pick that because they would have more restaurants and closer to the city and more of a vibe that the college graduate might be seeking than Edison. And I think that is something, a long-term project I would love to tackle, but I don't think we can solve that anytime soon.
Thank you, thank you, Councilman Patel. Yes, sir.
So I brought this up before. Does the lawyer run the meetings? Because he says people are out of order, or does the president say run the meetings? I'm not too sure. I'd like to get some clarification because you're allowed to give her guidance, but you're not allowed to run the meeting. So you're out of order for saying he was out of order. All right? I'd like to get my time back. The last time my minutes were stolen from me, like 3 minutes and 30 seconds added on, please.
Sir, you have the 3 minutes and 30 minutes that are
We're
left
going
right
to go
now.
back and forth. Can you stop my time and give me 10 seconds, please?
No, you don't stop his time. No.
All right. At the previous meeting, I was told I could not play a video of Sonia threatening Christo because of ongoing litigation. At the next meeting, I attempted to read the report, and again, I was silenced under the same excuse. And then at the last meeting, I tried to play a recording of an interaction that happened in these very chambers, right here, right over there. And I was told doing so would be harassment. So the Supreme Court has repeatedly ruled that public meetings of government bodies are limited public forums, meaning that while reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions can be imposed, officials cannot discriminate against speech based on its content or viewpoint. In the city of Madison Joint District School, number 8, First Wisconsin Employment Relations Commission, the court ruled that the First Amendment protects the citizens' right to address their government in a public forum. Additionally, the board, Airport Commissions versus the Jews for Jesus, the court struck down the ban on certain types of speech in a public setting, making it clear that a government body cannot impose a blanket prohibitions on speech it finds inconvenient. When I refused to be silenced, I was told my speaking time would be forfeited. When I stood my ground, I was threatened with removal, I was intimidated, and I was even threatened with arrest, simply for exercising my First Amendment rights. My time was not up. I had every right to continue speaking. This is a violation of my constitutional rights. The Supreme Court ruled in Houston v. Hill, affirmed that the First Amendment protects robust, even critical speech directed at public officials. It is not harassment to play recordings, read official reports, or hold elected officials accountable. It is my constitutional right to redress my government under the First Amendment. A business administrator in a municipal government is considered a public official because they are a government employee responsible for overseeing municipal operations, finances, and the administration. Their role often includes implementing policies set by the council, managing budgets, and supervising departments. Under the First Amendment law, public officials include government employees who have a substantial responsibility over public affairs. This designation means that the public business administrator's actions can be subject to public scrutiny, accountability, and legal challenge. If they attempt to suppress my speech or violate my constitutional rights, Edison is not a dictatorship. That's not what the people want. And I have to ask, are these decisions being made by council or someone in the business administrator's office, or perhaps Sam himself, instructing you to suppress my speech? Because if that's the case, that needs to stop. I urge this council to remember the Constitution is not optional. You swore to uphold an oath. You swore an oath to uphold it. Start acting like you care. So I'm going to play the video.
You gotta do something.
No, all right, sir, you're out of order. You are out of order. Please stop it. Please stop his time.
Are you violating my rights?
I am telling you that we are not going, I can tell you what you can do.
Time is up.
Okay. Offline, I'd be glad to tell you what you can do.
Are you standing up, sir? You're ready to go, huh? You're ready to go.
Sir, you need to sit down. Anyone else, public comment? Joyce.
Point of order.
Joyce, Edison, New Jersey.
Council President, there's a point of order.
Just
Time.
try not to have side conversations so we
Well,
can focus
stop
on
the
the.
time.
Joyce, she did stop the time.
Yeah, she
Oh.
did.
She did.
Okay.
All right.
She did.
Sorry, I
Okay,
just want
well,
to make
I
sure we
didn't
can
know.
focus.
Don't get excited. I'm a calm
No, I mean, you
person.
yelled at her. I just wanted you to know. It's all right.
Yeah, I'm cool with Marlena.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't lie.
No,
Yeah,
she-
I have a teach. I teach.
we're not talking about you. The point of order isn't against you. It's not against you, okay? You can continue the time. Go ahead, Joyce.
Okay, I listen to the people talk about housing costs and affordable housing. People are not talking about affordable housing for the people who are in the state who don't have enough money. People are talking about the young people, like young people and stuff that's in my family, that are looking for a house that they can afford. And that's not my backyard. Most of these people are professionals. They just can't afford the housing right now because the corporations are buying them up, in case you haven't heard, all right? So they're jumping at the bid and the LLCs are grabbing the houses up. When you say affordable housing now, you don't mean the people that's working for 30 and 40,000. You mean the people that's working for 100,000. They can't afford it, okay? That's the real deal, okay? It's not in my backyard stuff. And now the signs up, even my friends called me up and asked me if they live in another town, and they was like, oh, I said, that's Edison. They said, how do you have political signs up already and you can't have them up until April 3rd? Okay. Then I would like to say, whatever these signs are, the crime raising or whatever, I think Edison has a great police department. I think you guys do pretty good at your job, and I think that if you're spending time and energy in places where you shouldn't be, then that's the public safety director's fault. It shouldn't be screamed at you guys for doing stuff incorrectly, because I think you guys are doing a good job and you're working under your leadership that you're supposed to be. So if you got crappy leadership, hey, I can't blame you, all right? Now, from what I'm hearing from other people is that DPW seems to have this thing that thinks that we had a whole boatload of money for all this stuff that we're building and all these things that's going on. I'm like to myself, then why do we have all these bonds? We got a boatload of money. Everybody keep telling me about all these grants and stuff. And I know the infrastructure is just terrible here. It's just very, very terrible. And right now is the time that we do spring stuff for landscaping, all right? But I got all these tags all over my lawn. I got these tags. So what am I supposed to do about landscaping? What am I supposed to do? Because some say PSE&G, some say, I guess they Comcast, a whole bunch of crap that's out there, and everybody tells me they're not responsible for it. So, I don't understand, like, what's going on. And another thing I wanted to know about, which you told me was in litigation, about the housing costs with the $100 added to each apartment. I wanted to know about that. And also, Woodbridge Elks breakfast for the Kiwanis on the 30th. Your kids' breakfast with the Easter Bunny. That'd be a nice thing to do, something nice. That's what I like about other neighborhoods. They don't charge $5 or whatever. They do some different things for the kids. But I do want to know about the $100 cost of that, and how that affects the people. Because you said you had litigation, you said you had a meeting, so I figure I get some kind of answer to give to the person, right? And last but not least, I want to thank you, Councilman John Pointer, Vice President, for answering thoroughly. As a teacher, I like my questions answered thoroughly. I don't like them half answered. Thank you.
Council President?
Excuse me one second. Okay, yeah. Joyce, unfortunately, because the inspector fees are pending litigation still, we're not able to comment until that has been settled. So that's that. Yes, Councilman Coyle?
As a courtesy, would you call on our EMS volunteer, our president? He raised his hand a few times.
Okay, yes.
Steven Zetterbaum, 7 Oliver Avenue. Thank you, appreciate it. Hope everyone's doing all right tonight. As mentioned, I'm Steven Zetterbaum. I'm the president of Edison EMS. My colleagues and I are here tonight on behalf of Edison Emergency Medical Services. Once again, for those that do not know, Edison EMS is your all-volunteer first aid squad. We work in conjunction with Hackensack Meridian Health, JFK EMS. We serve at no charge the Township of Edison and the surrounding towns, providing emergency services, and we also provide all the ambulance coverage for all the township events. We're here tonight to give a brief update on our organization. It's been a little bit, so we wanted to just share. Edison EMS is continuing to thrive and grow. Last year, we had the most activity yet in years. We answered 1,114 emergency calls, which is almost a 30% increase than the year prior, and almost 100% increase in the year prior to that. We had 11,452 member hours and welcomed 23 new members to the squad. Edison EMS is continuing to invest in its members, resources, and equipment to ensure Edison has the quality emergency services that we deserve. This year, we're on pace to answer 1,200 calls, and we continue to be flooded with new member applications. With this increased activity, Edison EMS also has assumed a large financial and logistical burden to continue these operations. Edison EMS is in need of several large capital improvements to ensure the safety and well-being of our stations and our residents. This includes roofing repairs at 2 of our stations and a parking lot repair at Edison EMS Station 3. Our stations not only serve as the deployment centers for our ambulances, but also as centers for our community. We host Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, religious and cultural groups at all of our stations. Historically, the Edison Township administration has been extremely supportive of the Edison Volunteer First Aid Squads. Past administrations have even facilitated new roofs being installed at the stations and parking lots repaved, such as Station 2 in 2020. We would like to gratefully request that the township continues its support for Edison EMS and our efforts to help others in need. We have brought to attention in the past, there is a New Jersey statute that does allow up to $120,000 annually the township funding can allocate to a volunteer first aid squad. We currently do receive $105,000 between the 3 first aid squads, which does leave room for an additional $15,000 per year to be allocated. While we do understand that additional funding for Edison EMS might be difficult at this time, we would be grateful to any assistance with roofing repairs or parking lot replacements at Edison EMS Station 3. We do really thank you for all your continued support and dedication to the township. It's always been there. We do really look forward to hearing your thoughts from the council, the administration, and how we continue to work together. Thank you all again for your support, and happy to answer any questions offline, as always.
Anyone, you have some time left. Anyone have some questions?
Council President?
Yes, Council Vice President.
If anyone is interested in becoming a volunteer, where should they reach out?
Yeah, absolutely. So we accept members 16 and older. We're primarily looking for actually adults 19 and older primarily, but on our website, edisonems.org, we're always accepting new applicants.
And would you guys technically be classified as like a nonprofit in case someone wanted to offer services but receive like a tax write-off for that?
Correct. We're a 501(c)(3). Yep, nonprofit.
Thank you. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Any other questions or comments? Yes, Councilman Petillo?
Council President, just wanted to ask through Council President question to Sonia. Are we going to are you going to match the funding, that $15,000 in this budget? I think, they did come last year and we said, I will try to help you. And
Are you speaking to the additional
15.
contribution by the state that we're allotted for volunteers?
yes,
We did consider that, so I will confirm with you.
thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
Council President, I know we're having a finance meeting shortly, and I'm certain this council will have that discussion to see where the council, the finance committee, and the administration could meet somewhere in that criteria. And I know you said the max is 130. Is that per station you're saying, or is that altogether?
Time is-
120, 120 total. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for what you do. And we really appreciate these updates, and please continue to do so. And we'll do everything we can to see that you get what you need. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Anyone else for public comment? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, good evening for everyone. I'm new to this, lived here my whole life.
Just name and address, please.
Deborah Wolf, I live on Baldwin Road.
Okay.
Just really wanted to make a comment about how disappointed I was in the disaster relief that was offered to us during the water main break. I have neighbors who are severely ill. They're younger than I am. They have a full-time nurse. they were not able to get to one of the fire departments to get their 2 gallons of water every day. I went for them, and very kindly, the fire, the volunteers there allowed me to take 4 gallons, 2 for my house, 2 for my neighbors. But there was no main number to call to reach out to anybody and say there is a need for people who are homebound to get much needed water. And so, having worked for the American Red Cross for a very long time, I was very disappointed to see that this was a pretty big disaster in Edison. And I know it didn't affect everybody, but it affected a lot of people, and a lot of very sick and elderly people who were not able to get that water. That's my comment. Thank you.
Sonia, is there, I think she was saying that she couldn't find a number to call. Is there a number in these circumstances that people can access?
In our communications, there are numbers, and typically through the utility that's been offered. We did get requests, and we actually made door-to-door deliveries.
Right, I know.
For surrounding areas. So I would use that number. I would use the administration number. The one for the utility is when no one is in the office, it gets defaulted to dispatch or called dispatch. They have a direct line of communication with the administration that's on call 24/7, especially during these emergencies, one which we're dealing with right now. So I would call that number that's on the utility, which bounces to dispatch, and dispatch communicates to us directly.
Great. Great, thank you very much.
I'm sorry, you can't respond.
Well, she can come back to the microphone.
No, I mean, that would violate, we've been pretty steadfast in our rule.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to disagree with the deputy clerk on this, though. I think if you go back to your seat, you've forfeited the rest of your time.
All right,
Yes.
I was not aware,
Yeah.
I was not aware of that. All right, Carl?
Through the chair, Joe, thank you for nice compliments tonight.
It's true.
Very. It's been 8, 9 months since I left the town, well, retired. The issue I got, we had houses on Plainfield Road. There was one on the corner of Plainfield Road and Southfield Road. The guy cleaned his property up finally last year. We got 4 houses between Clyde Hill Road, or Clyde Road, whatever you want to call it, up to the Charlie Brown development. I asked them to clean that area. I was told they can't get out there. Anybody that got a house along that area should have an egress fence opening. Even so, I do not work for the town. Until eligible, I can write a ticket. I got no problem with it. I try to keep the town clean. But when you got people on this board fail to do so, it's wrong. Then the developer told me that they were asked to clean up the property on Plainfield Road. For what? They ain't their properties. And that property is not county property. Every house along that edge is the people. I like to see it clean. It's disgusting, it's embarrassing, and everything else. If not, I would write a ticket. If not, I go see Jim and let him write a ticket. There's too many areas in this town are dirty. There's too many signs up, too many illegal signs up right now for an election. Illegal. I used to burn 2 tanks of gas a week at my car. 2 tanks. My partner, I used to fill up his gas on his car. You know how often? Every 4 weeks. And he's making $17,000 more than me? What's that, a no-show? Pleasant Avenue hasn't been cleaned yet. I don't want to put you on the spot, Joe. But a lot of people ask me, how come I was barred from the area for 3 years? From doing my job, and if I got caught in the area, I'd be fired. You got a utility trailer on your property on Amway Avenue. It went from your house, well, it went from the root beer place to your house, back to the root beer place, back to the Chambers. It's an eyesore, no license on it, no insurance. Why? Where is a sit-down John Deere lawnmower that was being used on Amway Avenue? Did it disappear? I'd like to have an answer for all these questions. Although I'm in this town, 70 miles away from here, I would do the 140-mile trip to keep up with this town because I'm so getting called about a lot of things. And it's wrong. But where are we going with it? I hope I get some good answers.
Anyone have any answers to Carl's questions? I think we had something about John Deere and Pleasant Avenue and, yes, Council Vice President?
Just on Pleasant Avenue, if I'm thinking of the right location, he may even be speaking of the right-of-way there that used to connect Grandview up to Pleasant Avenue. If that is, one of the items at the community event that the library board had was thinking of a way to actually allow for people to walk down Pleasant Avenue. So if we have that right-of-way and it is cleaned up and we're able to utilize that as like a pass-through, that may be a win-win in both situations. Thank you, Council President.
Anyone else, anything about this John Deere on?
Council President?
Yes.
To my knowledge, the township does not own any equipment on Amway Avenue, nor do they own any equipment at the Stewart's property. It's maintained by a nonprofit, and if they have any equipment, they own it.
All right. And lastly, Carl, I have previously reached out to you if you wanted to meet offline to talk about the situation on Plainfield Road. That offer still stands. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Am I recognized?
You are.
Thank you. I wasn't going to come today, but I found out Bongholio was going to be here. So where Bongholio goes, I go. So here I am. Just like you said, in his own words, Edison Township used a VASPA order, a shield for sexual assault victims, and used it as a sword to attack a critic of the government. I'm the first YouTuber, journalist to defeat a VASPA order. Very historical. So many victories. 2025 is going to be the year of all the victories. 4 or 5 years ago, what happened 4 or 5 years ago? 3 felony charges. Where did they all disappear to? The third one got dismissed. The first one started off as a first degree. Then it became a 4th degree. Then it became a disorderly persons. How many bites of the apple are you guys gonna decide? And now there's only the second felony left, which the Middlesex County Public Defender's Office filed the most beautiful motion to dismiss based on First Amendment protected activity, which has proven that this township maliciously falsifies police reports in order to maliciously prosecute me. They file these VASPA orders to keep me from government property so I can't file my tort claims and lawsuits against you guys in the future. I recently beat a harassment case by library trustee Tony DePascal for simply what? Investigative journalism. I exposed library member who's been known to go to Board of Education meetings, attacking certain Board of Ed members. I zoomed in on his cell phone, and who was he talking to? He was talking to the Mayor Metuchen, Mayor Jonathan Bush, whose law firm ran the Edison Board of Education at that time. Major, major ethics violation. And what happens? You guys continuously retaliate on me. I beat that case too. It seems to me we have a councilman that's going to be on the Democrat ticket, that my ethics complaint against him as a Board of Ed member was so strong that the Deputy Attorney General David Kaliski took over my complaint, and he turned my allegations into facts this thick. So it disgusts me, the type of people we have running for office in this town. It disgusts me, guys. Ban the American flag. Even when I lose, I win. And that's how it's always going to be. I beat the predator catcher case. I'm going to beat the second felony case. The first felony, how does it become a first degree to a disorderly person just like that? They accused me of the drones flying over the state of New Jersey. They accused me of mulch piles that spontaneously combust due to biomass ignition. What are they going to investigate me next when lightning strikes someone's property tomorrow? It's turning into my cousin Vinny. These people are so ridiculous. Defund Edison police. You guys are a joke.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Public comment? Yes, sir.
All right, good evening, council. I first want to start off by thanking the EMS men in Whitwell, the 2 EMS who are in the room. Thank you guys, the other ones as well. Reason being so is I just got released from the hospital around like 3:30. I was at JFK. I had what I thought was a drop seizure, but they did a brain scan, chest x-ray, blood work, all that stuff, and they said I think it was just anxiety, massive anxiety. I hit my rib on the toilet bowl, so I'm in a lot of pain right now. And I just want to say that man, Christo, he's a good man. When he heard what happened, he was let's go to St. Peter's, I'll come with you, I'll be with you, And that's why it's good to have good people in your life. And he's nothing but honest, and he's a good friend of mine. And what's happened to him in this town is really outrageous. And this is why I wish we had 6 minutes and not 4, because I can't speak as fast as I normally can, which is why I fight for the rights of disabled. Some people take more time to listen and receive information and then all that stuff. So I find myself in a really peculiar spot tonight, but I'm not feeling too well. But I do want to say I'm still too upset at what Joe had done to me. Those 3 times cutting me off, saying I'm here to agitate the public and incite violence. I'm not going to let that one go. It's strange too, because like I had said, you approached me in the hallway before that, promised me you would never do it, and you're eating pistachios or whatever nuts it is you like to put in your mouth. And then you went and you did it and said I was agitating the public, inciting violence. I have a real big problem with, I'm out of breath, with the word harassment, because that's a trigger word for government to act on allegations, to conspire, to keep people like Christo, your biggest critic, to keep him from coming to the meetings. So I have a big problem with the word harassment, because citing public safety concerns is what you guys are doing. You all read my tort claim. I emailed all of you. So citing public safety concerns is what you guys are now doing to keep people out of the meeting who come here, and they're harsh critics of the government. But we're free people in a free country using our freedom of speech, and it just gets blocked out. I'm not gonna let the flag ban thing go until you actually apologize, Joe. You never apologized. At least Nish, I can't even thank Nish because he's not in the room, but at least he apologized. He did it 3 times. Did you apologize, John? Did you apologize, classic guy on the right who never talks? Until you guys apologize, maybe you weren't brought up where when you make a mistake, you're taught to apologize. It's very apparent that might be the case. But the way I was raised, when you make a mistake, you don't just say you made a mistake, you apologize for it. I look on Joe's page after that whole thing, and he posts a picture of 20 American flags that the mayor bought to sway public perception about how star-spangled awesome we are here in Edison. Why don't you apologize, Joe? Why don't you apologize, John? Don't you think these residents are owed an apology? Guy on the right? Don't you think so? You think that I'm agitating the public by trying to compel you guys to do what I was raised to do and apologize? Nish apologized. However he got there, whether he was forced, compelled, or whatever. Where's the apologize from the three of you who took away our minutes? Where's the apologize? I want an answer. Will any of you apologize to your residents that you claim you fight so hard for?
Speaker's time is up. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else? Public comment?
Apology? Nope.
Yes, Anthony.
What they think of you guys.
Anthony D'Amarin, Wiley Ave. A couple things. The East, I think I wasn't here, I heard it in the car. We're charging $5 for the Easter egg? Is that correct? Do we always charge? I was just curious if we always charge.
Answer questions at the end.
Oh, okay. Well, that's one of them. I asked last time about the police budget, if we're going to increase it. I hope we do. And even if that means, making some cuts elsewhere, I'd like to see us hire more guys, more patrol as well. And on that topic, I don't know what the rules or laws are regarding the hiring and qualifications, but the fire department does something kind of similar. But what about if we did, if there was a fast track for auxiliary guys that want to be cops that are on auxiliary, put in a certain amount of time as auxiliaries that could, basically, qualify you to be hired full time as a regular police officer. So and plus they'll be Edison residents as well. So I don't know if that is something that's doable or not, because I know the fire department, you got to volunteer for a couple of years, right? So maybe if we have some type of fast track program for auxiliaries that want to do that, reach those qualifications, maybe it's an easier, better way of hiring. Another thing on the police, we have a couple substations, I guess, still in the north end of town. I don't know if they're occupied or not throughout the day or week, but I like the, I did a tour when I was working for the previous mayor. We went to Franklin Township and toured their community policing. It's a standalone community policing building, basically. And I'd like to see, possibly seeing something come to Edison do the same thing. Maybe even, I like the idea, maybe even off of Amboy Ave, do a standalone community policing building. Maybe you could work with the Board of Ed, get a piece of the property there. And basically what you do is you promote bikes, you patrol the area on bikes. You promote kids that are living in the neighborhood to ride their bikes on the greenway to school, and will help with a lot of the vehicle traffic that is on Jackson Avenue. So if you want to cut down the traffic on Jackson, one way to do it is just to have kids start riding bikes to school. So, and I think if you had the cops doing that in that area throughout the summer months especially, or spring and fall as well, you would see a lot of more parents that would be willing to allow their kids to do those things. Even though I was probably walking home at third grade from Lincoln, but that it's not, it's a different world today. So I'd like to see that. You really, the idea, the visualization of seeing the cops out there, I think is a good positive thing. So something just to think about, just an idea. DPW director, do we have a DPW director yet? Is there any updates on that? Who's running the DPW currently? And is it Bob Smith? I'm just curious to know about that. I'm just talking before. Oh, and I guess I mentioned the Unity bike Unity tour. I'm doing a flag. You got to see this flag I'm making for it. It's going to be gorgeous. I did one last couple of years, so definitely check that out. I don't know if I'm going to be attending, but I'm doing a couple. I'm doing one flag, maybe a surprise second flag. So we'll see. So definitely worth checking out. All right, thank you, Council President.
Thanks, Anthony. Yes, the Easter extravaganza is it's a $5 charge. Captain Hammer, can you address the questions about an increase in the police budget and any possibility of a fast track for auxiliary police?
Council President, if I may, for the captain, the budget is under current review, so before providing you with an answer, there is a slight increase, and it reflects our current and hopeful manpower for the future, so that's still under review.
Okay.
There was another question.
There was a question about his idea about fast tracking the auxiliary police.
The captain can answer that.
Yeah.
As far as I know, the officers who are in the auxiliary get extra points in the past. I don't know what the hiring process is right now. We'd have to talk to the chief and find out what the process is. But in the past, if you were an auxiliary, you would get a certain amount of points towards your test and move on to the next process.
Okay, thank you very much. DPW, the acting director right now is Tony Costa. He's doing a great job as far as I can tell. Do we have interviews been going on for the permanent position? Sonia?
We currently have an interim, and we are still brainstorming.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you very much. Anyone else? Bureau.
Biral Patel, Edison. Greetings, Council President Harris, Council Vice President Poyner. This is something I love to talk about, the budget. So 4 years in the Board of Ed, we had 0% tax increase, right, Mr. Romano? It always brings us pleasure and smiles because everyone in Edison talks about taxes. Before I go there, thank you so much to the EMS. We really value, some of the members are not here, but we really value their incredible services and dedication to our community. Now, what brings me joy today and what I'm here to talk about is the budget, the introduction of the budget. It's incredible to hear about less than 1% tax increase, which is great. So, and at the same time, this trend shows stability in the taxes in the last 4 years. So this budget also hoping it prioritizes safety, hiring of the police officers, firefighters, and everything else that the community needs to make a safe and secure community. And the budget also continues to expand services to our family, youth, most importantly, so hopefully all of that is included, but delivering a budget with less than 1% tax increase is really great. It's incredible. So I really wholeheartedly thank the mayor, all of you council members for all your hard work, the administration. I think the residents will very well receive it, and I urge all of you to vote on it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Public comment?
Motion to close the public portion.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. It looks like we are, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, this meeting is adjourned at 8:10 PM. Thank you all very much. I don't know.
I'll be right there.
But we can talk very openly without anything. That's what I tell him. Solving, help the community, help people. That's what I refer to.